What if we could just start over? Design a society completely from scratch. What would that even look like? Well, today, we're going to explore one really ambitious answer to that question, a framework called Universal Human Development.
It's a huge question, isn't it? I mean, where do you even begin? Do you focus on the economy first? The laws? This framework suggests we might be asking the wrong questions entirely. It proposes a completely different and kind of radical starting point. So here's the big idea. What if you built a society around the natural flow of a human life? Align everything, schools, jobs, healthcare, all of it, with the actual stages we go through, from being a kid to being a senior. Instead of us having to fit into a rigid system, the system is designed to fit us. Okay, so let's unpack this blueprint. And it's not just a few policy tweaks here and there. No, this is a fully integrated vision for how an entire life could be supported and lived.
The whole thing is built around 4 interconnected stages. It kicks off with learning, which then flows into our working lives, and that transitions into a stage of dignified care for our elders. And the glue holding it all together? A totally unified system of governance. So let's break it down, starting with stage 1.
The journey begins, as you'd expect, with learning, from birth all the way to age 21. But the goal here isn't just about cramming facts into kids' heads for exams. It's about helping each person discover who they are and what they're passionate about. And this slide really shows you the fundamental shift. We'd move away from a system obsessed with rote memorization and high-pressure exams. Instead, we'd have one that's all about learning by doing, focusing on real-world skills. It recognizes that intelligence isn't just about book smarts, it's also artistic, it's social, it's physical. Now get this. Can you imagine a world with no high-stakes, standardized exams until you're 16 years old? The first decade and a half of school would be purely about exploration and discovery, totally free from that crushing pressure to just perform on one single test.
So what that means is education becomes profoundly practical. Think about it. Every single kid graduating with fluency in 3 languages, a real understanding of their finances and legal rights, strong emotional intelligence, and actual hands-on experience in a bunch of different professions. Game-changing, right?
And that incredible foundation in learning naturally leads us into stage 2, our working lives. Here, the focus isn't just on getting a job, but on building a secure, stable, and meaningful career.
Now, here's where the framework makes a really bold diagnosis of a huge societal problem. It argues that corruption, for the most part, isn't a moral failing. It's a symptom. It's a symptom of deep systemic insecurity. You know, when you're terrified you can't pay for a medical emergency, your choices get pretty narrow.
So instead of just playing whack-a-mole and punishing corruption after it happens, this system aims to get to the root of the problem. You build a foundation of security for everyone, and suddenly corruption isn't just wrong, it becomes unnecessary.
And look, this security isn't just some vague promise. It's a whole ecosystem of policies. It starts with a real living wage, so one job is actually enough. It protects your time with a strict 40-hour work week. And it invests in you with paid time off to learn new skills, for new parents, or even just to take a sabbatical and recharge. It's about helping you grow throughout your entire career.
All right, now we move on to the 3rd stage of life, aging. And this is where the framework proposes a really beautiful and radical reframing, seeing our later years not as a decline, but as a period of wisdom, dignity, and real contribution.
So take a look at this number, 70%. When we're talking about our elders, what do you think that number could possibly represent? Just let that sink in for a second.
Yeah, that's the shocking percentage of seniors in India right now with absolutely no financial safety net. None. It is a massive systemic failure, and it's exactly the kind of problem this framework is designed to solve head-on.
And fixing it starts with a huge philosophical change. We have to stop seeing our elders as a burden and start seeing them for what they truly are, a national asset, a living library of experience and wisdom that can enrich everyone else. And again, this isn't just a nice sentiment. It's all backed by concrete policies that work together to create real dignity. A universal pension for financial security, free healthcare for physical security, community centers to fight isolation, and formal mentorship programs so they can continue to feel a sense of purpose and value. Okay, so you've got these 3 huge stages of life: learning, working, and aging. But how do you make them all work together seamlessly?
Well, that brings us to the final and absolutely crucial piece of the puzzle, the governance that holds it all together.
But before we look at the structure, we've got to grasp its guiding principle: equity, not just equality. And this analogy on the screen is perfect, right? Equality is giving everyone the exact same shoes. But equity? Well, equity is making sure everyone gets a pair of shoes that actually fits them. The goal isn't identical treatment, it's giving everyone what they uniquely need to succeed. And here's the genius administrative fix. Think about it. Right now, we have a ministry for education, one for labor, another for welfare, and they barely talk to each other. People fall through the cracks all the time. This model says, nope, let's get rid of those silos. It proposes a single, unified ministry of human development that creates a seamless support system for an individual throughout their entire life. So when you put all these pieces together, the learning, the working, the care, and the governance that ties it all together, it really boils down to one fundamental question at the very heart of this framework.
Ultimately, this whole blueprint is more than just a list of policies, it's a moral statement. It argues that the true wealth of a nation, the true measure of its success, isn't its GDP. It's how well it nurtures its young, how it supports its workers, and how it honors its elders.
And that leaves all of us with a really powerful question to think about. If we take a hard, honest look at the structure of our own society, our schools, our workplaces, our retirement systems, what does it tell us about what we truly value? Something to chew on. Thanks for joining us for this explainer.